Hi there. Welcome to LSB Feaster's radio channel, where we keep great radio from the past alive. Today, we're going to New York City and a legendary talk talent. His name, Bob Grant. Bob was cantankerous. Bob was argumentative. Bob was never boring. He was a legend in talk radio, starting his New York portion of his talk radio career on 570 WMCA. Eventually, he moved over to WOR, was fired, went to WABC, bounced back to WOR. He bounced around a lot between WOR and WABC. But Bob was an incredible talk show host. He knew how to stir the pot. And as I said, never boring. If you've never had a chance to check him out, here he is, the one and only Bob Grant on 77 WABC.
Let's be heard. Good afternoon, everyone. The telephone lines are open. The number to call from Connecticut, 203-862 WABC. From New Jersey, 201-489 WABC. From New York or anywhere else, 212-563 WABC. In a program dedicated to the free and open exchange of ideas and of opinions. And what is on your mind this afternoon, huh? Where I cast my ballot this morning, a little after 7 a.m., I was voter number 5. Last time I was voter number 6. I have a philosophy that it is my duty to get out there and vote before I do anything else. I really have no patience for people who say, yeah, I'm going to do it this afternoon. I didn't get a chance to get over there. My foot, you didn't get a chance to get over there. It's incredible how lazy people are. It's incredible to me how few people really deserve the vote. And it's amazing how many people think they're doing all the rest of us a favor by participating. You do have a duty, it is my firm belief, you do have a duty, as corny as that may sound to some of you. You do have a duty as a citizen to cast your ballot. And speaking of voting, and that's what we've been talking about for a long time. It seems as though campaigns go on and on and on. I have a fax from William Tripp. Dear Mr. Bob Grant, this is a follow-up to yesterday's fax. I just wanted to let you know that there are Cuomo posters on every signal light pole on every corner surrounding the Board of Elections at 200 Barrack Street. I work in the same building. I tore down 5 or 6 of them this morning and will continue to do the same throughout the day. Interestingly, the Cuomo campaign must be expecting this kind of retaliation from Pataki supporters following the police incident in Williamsburg because they have placed these posters very high up on the pole. I am 6 feet 4 inches tall, and I needed to climb up a bit to reach most of them. The disgusting thing is that these posters were all put up since about 5:30 p.m. yesterday, which means that Cuomo supporters were using stepladders in the dark to place them, and of course no police stopped them. And yet the police selectively took down the Pataki signs, and when William Bratton was questioned about it, he became loutish, boorish, crude, rude, insulting, and shows that definitely there is a double standard. And why? Well, figure it out. William Bratton is Rudy Giuliani's hand-picked commissioner. Rudy Giuliani, for personal reasons, is going all out to re-elect the Spatchim to a 4th term. Rudy, people have said to me, you haven't really said too much about Rudy. You've been rather reticent to criticize him. That's true. I really wish I didn't have to. But I think that Rudy Giuliani has become absurd. The endorsement of Cuomo in and of itself was absurd enough. But his active campaigning, manning the telephones, making speeches, going around, making nice with Matilda, who would stab him in the back at the drop of a hat. All these things prove that the vendetta, the animus, the cauldron of hatred for Al D'Amato, which has been brewing in his heart, is overflowing. And Rudy Giuliani, if the Sfacim should win, and I'm not sure he will, as a matter of fact, maybe it's wishful thinking on my part, but I'm getting more and more the inclination that George Pataki will pull this out. But if the Sfacim wins, it will not be a victory for the Sfacim. Mario knows it, and Rudy knows it. Rudy will look upon it as a victory for himself. Because, in spite of the fact he's done a good job as mayor, there is a dark side to him, a very small side to him, that says, the heck with logic, the heck with the state of New York, the heck with everything, I want to get even with Al. And that's really what it boils down to. I was analyzing his lack of support for George Pataki and yet his endorsement for, say, Herb London. There are very few issues that Herb London and Rudy Giuliani agree on. If you take a look at the basic philosophical and ideological profile of George Pataki, it is more in concert with Rudy Giuliani than Herb London. And yet why does he continue supporting Herb London? For, as a matter of fact, the entire Republican ticket, with the exception of George Pataki? Because, again, he wants to get even with Al D'Amato. And it's too bad the voters of New York, the citizens of New York, might be, as a result of Rudy's personal vendetta against Al, might be the people who have to pay the price, because we cannot afford 4 more years of the Sfacim. It's that simple. As a matter of fact, if you read some of the political pundits from around the country, they are amazed that the election seems to be this close. Had it not been for Rudy, I think we would sit back and be looking forward to a George Pataki victory statement. At any rate, we're hearing, understandably, so much about negative campaigns. Campaigns have deteriorated. They keep getting worse and worse, without a doubt. The simple fact of the matter is that what political strategists do is they say, hey, listen, we don't have too much to brag about. You're not such a hot guy, Frank. As a matter of fact, you did lousy, but we got to beat the challenger, so let's see what we can do to win this election. We can't brag about ourselves, so let's try to tear him down. Oh, hey, look what we came across. This scurrilous, fake, phony New York Magazine piece on Bob Grant. Hey, Bob Grant. Bob Grant got Christy Whitman elected governor in 1993. We don't want him to do the same thing in the Senate race. He could make the difference, Chuck. He could make the difference, Frank. So let's campaign against Bob Grant. And up until Minister Shaheed Waters and his associates demanded the pulling of that absolutely hideous, ridiculous campaign literature on television, that television spot. People were looking at that and they wondered who the heck is running against the Lausenberg. An all-time low has been hit, and I'm sure that it's going on elsewhere around the country. Perhaps not as egregiously repulsive as it is here in this part of the country, but certainly negative all the way around. And we could do things to get rid of that, but I guess we don't want to. And you know what these politicians, all of them, are doing is taking advantage of the fact they know people are too lazy to read, too lazy to study, too lazy to stay informed, and too busy, really, in all fairness to the citizen, too busy to really do a total objective job in assessing candidate A versus candidate B. They take advantage. During round number 2, that's at 4 o'clock, the former GOP state chairman, state of New York, and one of the most popular, certainly one of the most popular politicos with the media in the history of this state and of this city, George Clark, will be joining us to talk about politics in general and what's going on in the tri-state area in particular, and of course his beloved state of New York. Right now, though, we're going to turn our attention elsewhere. Talk to you a bit about your car insurance. Have you taken a good look at what you're paying? Have you noticed increases lately? Well, with a simple phone call to 1-800-876-3600, you can join the growing number of New York's good drivers who are saving plenty on car insurance by dealing directly with U.S. Capital Insurance Company. U.S. Capital could save you money because they only look to insure New York's good drivers, and those savings are passed on to you. And listen to this. In a report just released by the State Insurance Department, consumers ranked U.S. Capital as one of the best performers in claims handling and customer satisfaction. Call U.S. Capital right now for your free rate quote at 1-800-876-3600. Qualify and start saving on your premiums this year while getting the protection you need. It's simple. If you want a great deal on car insurance, call U.S. Capital now at 1-800-876-3600. 1-800-876-3600 for U.S. Capital Insurance Company, Medford, New York. Our first caller of the day on this election day, 1994, Nick from Long Island. Hello.
Yeah, Bob. I'd just like to remind the people who are on their way to vote while they're driving in their car to think about all the taxes that Mario has levied on our cars, as in the tripling of our registration and license fees and our gas tax and our oil tax and all the other little taxes he hit us with.
Oh, forget the birth certificate tax?
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're the only state that taxes you at death and birth. And
well, that's what people like Mario Cuomo, and especially Mario Cuomo, that's what they're about. That's their philosophy of government. Just keep taxing and taxing and taxing, and they really don't know any other way. It's no secret that New York has at the very best, the second highest tax rate. There's some question that in some respects they surpass Alaska. But at any rate, it's no secret as to why businesses have moved out, why, in spite of some of the adjacent states having bettering of economy, New York's continues really to flounder. It's no wonder, Nick, and that's why it disturbs me that the mayor of this city, who seems to have a basically different philosophy, is supporting the Sfacim. If it isn't clear to anybody by this time, to everybody by this time, that it's his personal animus for Al D'Amato, I think the two of them really are responsible for this situation. But why do the voters, why do the citizens, why do the taxpayers have to suffer? Because Rudy's mad at Al? That's the question. Thank you very much, Nick.
Thank you, Bob.
Yes, sir.
Yes, could I just tell Mario salute?
All right.
Mario, arrivederci.
All right. Let's hope that's appropriate. Shirley from Long Island, hello.
Hello. I just wanted to remind the voters who haven't voted yet that it's not too late, that Mario Cuomo, about a month and a half ago, promised all the welfare chiefs who have multiple aliases, multiple identities, who are going to be detected by the new fingerprint system, that he will make sure, he'll promise them that they will not be prosecuted and arrested. Do they want, 4 more years of this?
All right, excellent. Thank you very much.
All right.
And, you would think on the Thomas Grasso case alone, Cuomo would lose. You know that absurd case where this guy, Thomas Grasso, committed 2 murders, one in New York, one in Oklahoma. The state of Oklahoma has a right to this bum. Grasso himself said he wanted to be executed. And yet Cuomo wants to spend $700,000 of your tax money to keep this swine alive. And then, after the 20 years is up, then Oklahoma can have him to be executed. Only a spachim like Mario Cuomo could be guilty of such idiocy. Penny, you're on WABC. Hello.
Hello, Bob.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Penny calling from Long Island. I got out and voted this morning. I have a wonderful upbeat little jingle for you from Ethel Merman's famous Everything's Coming Up Roses. It goes like this. Victory for the GOP. Democrats go down in defeat. Goodbye, Tom Foley, you liberal louse. Hello, Newt Gingrich, Speaker of the House. The Democrats from the Clintons try to flee. Yippee, everything's coming up Republican for you and for me. Ollie North, Bishop Rob, New Jersey dumps that Lausenberg, and little Ted Kennedy. Mitt sends him home to his mummy. Bob Dole now leads the Senate majority. Yippee, everything's coming up Republican for you and for me. Despite the media with their bias spin, people vote the Republicans in. Hoppington edges out Diane. Sasser loses to a heart surgeon.
And we're going to cover every single race.
House now liberal and gridlock free. Yippee, everything's coming up Republican for you and for me.
This lady's probably a Democrat.
What?
Yeah, probably a Democrat trying to make the Republicans look bad with that singing.
You don't like it?
Well, I think the lyrics are very nice. It's just that I worry when people do what you're doing. I worry I can hear radios clicking off all over town. That worries me.
Why?
Well, why? I'll tell you why. Because you sound like you have a stomachache.
You know what? I have been sick this week. About 4 weeks ago, I didn't have the nerve until the day to call you, and I've been suffering from a terrible cold, and I wish I could have given it to you on the day when I could have spoke clearly and whatever.
No, listen, don't mistake my reaction. My reaction, I'm on 2 levels. On the one level, I admire what you're doing. On the other level, I just hope that the rest of the audience has stayed with us. That's all. You know what we have to do, Penny? We have to get you together with Marty, who's also...
I wanted to find him because I really need to have... I wanted to write it back up. What I want to do is... The Republicans need a real positive campaign song. Not for me to sing it, but to go in...
You're not bad. No, you're not. Listen, you did it without musical accompaniment.
I know what.
And a darn sight better than I. I mean, heck, if I did it, they'd shut down the station because I can't sing. But... yeah, we should get you together with Marty for a Broadway production of Spachimalot.
Well, I don't want to be in a Broadway production. I just want to I want the people, I want Republicans throughout the country, I want them to have something that every time they think of a particular piece of music, like this one, they will think of the Republican Party and what the party stands for, conservatism, family values, and getting back to what our forefathers did in trying to form this great country.
Well, Penny, I appreciate it. Listen, you take care of yourself. Get rid of that...
I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye. All right, here on WABC. Everything's coming up roses, okay? Say, look at that time. Rolex watch worth. Bring it to Palisade Jewelers. How much is your Cartier watch worth? Bring it to Palisade Jewelers. How much is your Patek Philippe watch worth? Bring it to Palisade. Palisade Jewelers in Fort Lee, New Jersey, pays very high prices for these watches. Let Palisade prove that the watch you own is worth more than you think. Call 201-461-4666 and have a courteous representative evaluate your watch. Or bring your watch to their Fort Lee location at 249 Main Street, just 1 block south of the George Washington Bridge. Rolex, Cartier, Patek Philippe, Bulgari, Piaget are just some of the watches that bring high cash prices today. Palisade Jewelers will also take your old watch and trade for a newer model. Palisade is the place for the world's finest new and pre-owned watches. Come in or call 201-461-4666 to buy, sell, or trade up to the watch of your choice. Palisade Jewelers gives courteous, confidential service. Call 201-461-4666. Palisade Jewelers, the civilized place to sell your watch.